Hello, this is Cheri from the Yogashala. Today I'm going to take you through a practice to help relieve any pain you may have or tension in your hip flexors, as well as strengthen the hip flexors. We're going to particularly focus on a muscle called the psoas. It's a muscle that connects your upper body with your lower body. You have two of them. It originates from the spine and then winds down through the pelvis and inserts in the anterior side of your upper leg bone here. And with all of us doing a lot more sitting these days at our computers, so with our legs constantly in flexion, the psoas can become very tight, and it can also create some imbalances, some instability really. The practice, the poses are not unlike you've done before. I'm just going to use the practice to describe to you when it is or what it is that you're doing with the hip flexors, okay? And I really hope you enjoy this practice. So we're going to actually begin in a prone Shavasana. I'll ask you to come down onto your mat, laying on your belly. Take your feet as wide as your mat, turn your toes outward so that your inner heels and your inner feet are sort of dropping down and in. And you can take your feet as wide as it feels comfortable for you for your lower backs. And then bring your hands down in front of you, and then use the palms of your hands to support your forehead. As you allow the front of your body here to become familiar with the surface of your mat, allow gravity to support the entire front of your body. Feel heavy, releasing from the top of your head, down your body, all the way down to the soles of your feet. Almost feel as though you can allow the back of your body to melt forward into the front of your body and then further into your mat. And as you become aware of the physical body, just notice if there's any areas of tension. If there's any lower back pain here. Shoulders. Legs. Slowly release any tension. Continue to just melt into the surface of the floor. And then shift your awareness to your breath. As you take a slow, deep inhalation, fill up your lungs, feel the compression against the front of your body and the floor. And then as you exhale, allow the body to drop and soften even more. Cultivating and creating a rhythmic breath, just gentle inhales and exhales through your nose. Feeling the expansion in the lungs to the rib cage. As you inhale and then exhale, feel that sinking even deeper into the floor. Can you take your inhalation all the way down into the diaphragm, down into the belly? And exhaling, sink and draw the navel down and in. As we allow all the bones and all the muscles of your body to completely surrender. Use the breath in this rhythmic way to move your mind inwardly. As we begin to shift from our doing lives, our busy work schedules, our home life, from wherever you were coming from today before you stepped onto your mat. Give yourself this time to allow all of that to melt away and just be left to the side for a moment. As you move your mind and your thoughts inward to focus on you. Slow, deep inhalations through your nose, filling up your lungs. Slow, smooth exhalations empty out. Soften the back body to the front body and melt into the surface one last time. Very gently, we're going to switch back into a child's pose. Just bring your hands next to your shoulders here. Bring your legs into parallel and then push yourself with your arms. Push your body up and press yourself back into a wide-kneed child's pose. Sink your hips back and stretch your arms forward. We'll take several rounds of breath here in our child's pose, just beginning to lengthen out and stretch through the sides of your waist, through the armpits. Keep pressing the fingertips forward as your hips sit back. Just gently warming up the mind and the body to begin our practice together. And then when you're ready, we'll come on up and make our way into Veerbhadra, which is a kneeling position. Okay. You'll need a block, a bolster, or some sort of prop to come under the sitting bones if your sitting bones don't come all the way down to the floor. So I'll turn sideways just to give you this better look-see here. So the block comes underneath the sitting bones and the knee points come together. So the heel bones are actually on either side of the buttocks here. Okay. The tops of your feet are flat with the pinky toes descending onto the surface of your mat. Here, we're actually receiving an inward rotation with the thigh bones. Now, if those of you who have more flexibility in the hips and can have your sitting bones all the way down to the surface of your mat without the knees popping off, then go for it. Those of you who may need even more support, you can take a couple of blocks and elevate the sitting bones even more. What we want is to start to feel an opening through the fronts of the thighs. And already here, we're looking at allowing some opening through that psoas muscle. With the spine in an erect shape and the sitting bones supported, it's allowing a softening to come into the hip flexors. Close your eyes in whichever position you've chosen for your Veerbhadra. And again, just come back to that sense of feeling. Feeling the tops of your feet as they press down into the surface of your mat. The shin bones descend. And then bring your awareness to your sitting bones. Allow the sitting bones to drop onto the surface of the block, the bolster, or the floor. Particularly pay attention to your inner sitting bones. We want to root down through the spine at the sitting bones. And then from here, draw your belly gently, lower belly, draw it in towards the midline, the spine, and then gently lift it up to your heart center. So we're creating a stability, a collar, if you will, a gentle hug around the base of the spine. And then as we do that, by drawing the belly in and up, feel as though the spine can be lifted upwards. The crown of your head is reaching towards your ceiling. And then take your shoulder blades and slide them down the back of your body. Take a slow, deep inhalation through your nose, feeling the breath enter the lungs. Exhale, smooth, empty out, full exhalation. Begin to cultivate an inward and upward motion with the breath as you inhale up the front of your body. And then with an exhalation, allow the breath to cascade and move down the back of your body. Creating an energetic loop of breath. Your life force, your prana, as we allow it to travel into the body using the deep inhalation Allow the breath, the prana, to nourish the tissues, the bones in the body, the muscles. And then as you exhale, expel all the used, empty out. You can think of this as a Ferris wheel, as the Ferris wheel in your little cart. As you move up the Ferris wheel, the breath travels up with you. And then as you come down the back side of that wheel, that Ferris wheel, the breath travels around and back all the way down underneath. So creating this full round rhythmic breath. Preparing and creating this ebb and flow for our practice. Please bring your hands now into Namaste and rest your thumbs at your breastbone as we formally open our practice together. Let's do one Om together. Take a slow, deep inhalation through your nose. Exhale, empty. Inhale, preparing to Om. Allow your mind to be humble and receptive so that you may receive all there is from your yoga practice. Enjoy, everyone. Gently release your hands down, open your eyes. We'll begin with the opening series. Inhale, reach the arms out and up, stretch up. Interlace your fingers above your head. As you exhale, palms go up and chin comes down into your chest. Lengthen through the sides of your waist up to your armpits, armpits to elbows. Stretch and reach your arms skyward. Allow the sitting bones to continue to drop. Belly draws in towards spine. Inhale, lengthen palms skyward. Exhale, shoulder blades down your back. Inhale, releasing the arms out to the sides and stretch through the arms until they land back into your lap, then lift your head. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, everyone twist to your right, please. Gentle kneeling spinal twist. Lifting, again, using that full round circular breath. Inhale up the front of your body. Exhale, look over the shoulder and breathe down the back. Exhale down the back of your body. Inhale, switching sides. Over to your left side now. I'm mirroring you. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, come back to center. Take the legs out in front. I like to stay up on my block and pump the quadriceps 9 times to get the feeling and get the knees going, the feeling back down into the legs. And then slowly draw the legs into Baddha Konasana. As you draw the feet into Baddha Konasana, the heels come towards the pelvis. And then actively press the soles of your feet together as you release the energy in the groins and out the mid-thighs towards the knees and wrap right around and back into the hip sockets. Create action in life in this pose as you continue to use your breath. So as you listen to the cueing today, just take your breath, use it as a mantra, as a meditation, continuing to flow the breath, move the energy. And then let's float the big toes away from one another as we continue to open the soles of the feet even more, continuing to externally rotate the upper leg bones in the hip sockets, warming up the body. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, stay. And then slowly let's close the feet, take our hands, close our knees up, and then let's transition over into a table pose. Okay, so you're coming onto your hands and your knees. Wrists are underneath your armpits, the knees are underneath the hips. Just setting up your foundation. Let's move through Marjarasana, cat and cow. As you inhale, drop the belly, lift the sternum. Tilt your gaze and look up towards your forehead. Exhaling, coming into your cat spine. So draw the belly in towards the spine and then turn your chin, turn your head and neck and look right on in underneath your belly. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, cat spine. Let's do this 2 more times on your own, using that big round full breath. Inhale. Exhaling, warming up the spine. We're also doing a little bit of extension and flexion using the psoas muscle here. As we come into spinal extension, we're opening and lengthening the top part of the muscle. And then as we come into flexion here, we're shortening the muscle on the inside, on the lower part of the muscle, pardon me. And then come back to our table. Everyone, let's transition up into a plank pose. So you'll just pick up the toes and bring your feet back behind you, making sure that your wrist creases are still underneath your armpits. Now for here, if you would like to drop your knees down, then go for it. Challenge the core strength and come into full plank. I want you to come high up onto your toes and press your heels back. Elbows, arms are strong, shoulders are into their sockets. Move the crown of your head forward as you press your heel bones back. We're going to stay here for 1 more breath. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, I want you to bend your knees and elbows and lower your chest and chin down to the floor. Untuck your toes and slide your body forward, coming into a low cobra here. We're going to work Bhujangasana, which is cobra pose. This is where we're going to begin to work the psoas muscle from the spinal, from the upper part of the muscle, okay? Fingertips come to either side of your breastbone here. Bring your elbows tight into the body and begin to squeeze your shoulder blades together. You're just looking down in front of your mat here, pressing the pinky toe edges of your feet into the floor. You're going to take a deep inhale and then press into your hands to lift the chest. Keep pressing into the outer edges of your feet. Lift the belly in and up towards your sternum. Slide your shoulder blades down your back so that you're protecting your lower back. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, let's lower down. We're going to do that a few more times as we begin to articulate through spinal extension, and we're working the top part of the psoas muscle, as well as, of course, many other muscles in the body. The extensor muscles in the back. We're working the legs here. But I want you to continue to think about the front of your hip flexor as we work through this series. Take a deep inhale, press into your hands, lift your chest, shoulders slide down and squeeze together. Press the pinky toe edges into the side, into the floor. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come back down. We're going to do that 1 more time. Widen the feet if you need to, okay? This will help to take any extra pressure off of the lower back. Take a deep inhale and press yourself up. Lift the belly up towards the sternum. Sternum lifts, shoulder blades down your back. Inhale, maybe the gaze looks up. Exhale, come down. Nice work, everyone. Let's shift back. We'll just come through a short little child's pose here just to relieve, lengthen, and then coming from your table pose, we'll make our way up into our Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, take an inhale. As you exhale, lift your hips up and back, and then press your chest towards your thighs. Here, make sure that your outer armpits are moving and scooping in towards one another. Widen through your shoulder blades. Strong arms, as though you're pressing your arm. Your hands are moving forward as your feet come down. Inhale, let's lift the right leg high to the sky. Stay strong and level in the shoulders here. Bend your knee as we begin to open up the right hip out to the side. So you're lifting your knee up towards the ceiling. And then notice, are you dropping into that left shoulder? Bring the shoulders back into level. Press through the arms. Allow the chest to move closer to the legs. And then maybe you can lift the hips even higher and open the hip even more. Take a deep inhale.
Exhale, come back to neutral, straighten out the right leg, heel is pressing back, toes down, and then bring your foot back down. Other side, inhale, left leg raises up. First, gain your stability in your arms. Keep spreading your shoulder blades together, or spreading your shoulder blades apart, pardon me, and squeeze the armpits towards one another. Bend the left knee and turn the leg out. Keep nice solid foundation through the shoulders. Keep lifting the left leg higher to the sky. Flex the left foot. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, stay, and then inhale, come back to the first pose, three-legged dog here, and then left leg can come down. Take a deep inhale and exhale here in your downward facing dog. Can you stretch and move your legs down and away from you even more? You're moving your heels away from your sitting bones, and you're moving your hands away from your lower back as you stretch your spine forward. Take a deep inhale, look between your thumbs. As you exhale, hop, step, or walk and come into your forward fold. Bend your knees so that your bellies are on tops of your thighs here, and drop your chin and look down and into your knees or your navel. Really come into a dangling motion here. Bring all of your weight forward onto the balls of your feet. Really drop the crown of your head, maybe even shake it from side to side. And just release the vertebrae down and out through the crown of your head. Again, coming back to that cooling breath. Inhale, draw the breath in. Exhale, sink. Bring your fingertips now, please, to either side of the toes. And as you inhale, we're going to stretch the spine forward. So we're coming into what we call flat back, but it really is neutral here. Okay, so we're not bringing our knees, our hands up towards our thighs. You're keeping your hands down onto the surface of your mat. If you cannot stretch the spine forward, then you just bend your knees a little bit more and keep your fingertips down. So you're taking an inhale, stretch the spine forward, look forward. Exhale, forward fold. Again, inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, forward fold. This time we're going to come all the way skyward. Inhale, bring your hands forward and together. All the way up you go. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands come down into heart center and pause. Leave the hands here in your prayer position as you look down and in. Allow your mind to continue to move down and inward. Slow, deep inhalations. Allow the breath to come up the front of the body. Exhaling down the back of the body. Slowly release your hands down next to your sides and standing in Tadasana. We're going to move through our standing postures here. We're going to work through Warrior One and Parsvakonasana. So you may need a couple blocks handy here. I like to take my blocks and have them ready on the back edges of my mat so that when I need to use them, they're there. Okay? So we're still going to be standing, orientating ourselves on the short edge side of our mat. You can bring your hands to your hips here, and we'll start by taking our right leg back and stepping into our Warrior One. Okay? The heel bone is descending down towards the floor here, okay? And then I want you to come into as deep a bend as you can through your front left knee. Now, take a moment to align the hips here. We want both hip points facing forward. We're going to focus more on the back leg here this morning or this afternoon, as this is what we're working now here, is the front of the hip flexor on the right leg. So we'll work right leg and then left leg. So we're directly getting a beautiful stretch and an opening through the lower part of the psoas as well as the upper part of the psoas. In Warrior One, we're almost coming into a slight back bend. So we want to keep the torso up and straight, moving up and out of the hips, and then actively press through your right heel bone and straighten your right leg. If your right heel does not come down to the floor, you can always take a block, a rolled towel,
maybe another rolled mat remnant, because I want you to be able to press your heel onto the surface of something. It is the pressure that you can achieve from the outer heel bone will help you to bring that energy up the front of the leg. You want to be able to straighten the knee and send the back of your thigh back. Draw the belly in and up. You're continuing to support your lower back by drawing the energy in from the belly. It allows the pelvis to support the base of the spine here, and then lift the energy up. Inhale, take your arms up towards the ceiling, hands, fingertips reach. Bring your palms together and interlace your fingers. I like to bring my hands together in this pose so that the energy is sealed and coming straight out through the fingertips. Strong, straight arms. You can almost squeeze your head with your biceps here. Take a slow, deep inhale as you draw the breath up the front of your body. Exhale, keep pressing the weight down through the back heel. Take one more breath. Inhale. Exhale, stay. Inhale, we're going to spin and come open. We're making our way into first Veerbhadra Sonnet 2. Okay? So you're going to widen your stance and then bend into the left knee. Full posture is 90 degrees with the bent leg. And then you're going to take your right heel and spin it out and back. Now we're opening more the front of the hip flexor on the front side or even into the side body here, okay? So arms come up. We're in Warrior 2 to begin. So everything stays strong and solid down through the base of our support. Lift from the pelvic floor. Draw the energy in and up towards the belly. Belly, again, keeps coming in and up to support our back. Bend into the front leg, and you want to make sure that the long edge side of your mat is parallel to your upper leg bone. So take a look and make sure your knee is tracking forward. Arms come up. Take a deep inhale. Lengthen through the sides of your waist to your armpits. Exhale, sink into the pose. Inhale, Parshvakonasana, side angle. I want you to reach your left arm forward here and take your hand down to the outer edge side of your left leg here, your left shin. Hand comes down. If you do not have blocks, then that's fine to come here. But I would prefer you to practice using props, okay? Press your hand down into the surface of your block and then lift your right hand up. Turn the palm to face the front side of the room and then lie the arm next to the body. You're going to feel a great sense of stretch through this right side body. I want you to continue to tuck your left hip under as you spiral your right chest and side body up towards the ceiling. Pressing and thinking more about the weight going into the back of your right heel and lift the inner arch of your right foot. One more breath as I know you're almost done there. Stay for the exhale. And then inhale, bring yourself back up through Warrior 2 and then straighten the legs. Turn the left toes to face forward. We're going to fold into a wide-legged forward fold here so that we just come into a bit of a cooling posture before we move to the other side. Hands come onto your waists. Allow the belly to keep drawing in and up. You're hinging forward from the hips. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, hinge your torso forward. I want you to bring your weight onto the balls of your feet. You can stop here with the spine parallel to the floor to start. Lengthen the crown of head and your sternum forward as your sitting bones and tailbone move back. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, maybe you're descending even more. You can bring your hands all the way down to the floor and then allow your head to completely drop here. Coming into an active rest pose. Yes, you're feeling a nice stretch perhaps through the inner thighs, but we're allowing this cooling breath to come into the body, the upper body. Legs are active. You're going to feel perhaps some toning through the outer shins. Let's take one more breath. Deep inhale.
Exhale, soften down and in. And then very slowly preparing to come up. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Hands can come onto waists. And then a deep inhale lifts the torso skyward. Now from here, we're just going to turn our right leg now 90 degrees and out to the side. And then bend into your right knee. So we're going to move through the reverse on this side. We'll do Parsvakonasana and then into Warrior One. Hands come out. Principles are the same. Bend strongly into the front leg and you're continuing to open your left hip away from your inner right knee. So you're creating this opening through the front of your pelvis here. Press strongly through your left back heel and lift your inner arch. Inhale, arms come up. Sink, exhale into the pose. Feel that beautiful opening through the front of the left hip flexor here and a strengthening through the front hip flexor. Inhale, exhale, sink. Now, switching into side angle. Inhale, reach your body forward. Keep the sides of your waist long. Right arm comes down to a block. Left arm reaches up and lies next to your ear on your left side. And then again, work this spiraling action of your upper torso. Keep the left hip, left torso, everything opening up to the ceiling as your right side body spirals under. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, stay, work it. Strong in the back leg, lift the inner arch, deep inhale. Stay for one last exhale, and then inhale, up you come. Straighten the front leg. Let's heel toe the feet a little bit more towards one another. And we're gonna switch and come back into Warrior One on the other side. Just by turning the entire body, be very mindful of how you switch your pelvis from side to frontal, okay? And then let's come back and stand. And now you'll be facing the back of your mat. Why not? Different view. Keeping the right foot where it is in front, you're gonna step the left foot back this time. Coming into your version of Warrior One. Bend deeply into your front right knee, and we're pressing that left heel down, just as we did on the other side. If you can't get that heel quite down to the floor, then you're gonna pop a block underneath there and really have something to press against, okay? We're working more on the back leg in this pose. I want you to focus more on the back leg. First, get those hip points moving forward. Press strongly and straighten the back leg so that the back thigh is moving behind you. Sink into the front knee. Belly comes in towards your spine, lifts up and into the sternum. So now we're working the entire psoas muscle from insertion to origin, all the way through. Inhale, reach up and work the pose using your breath. With each inhale, send the breath up the front of your body. And with each exhale, slowly slide the shoulder blades down your back and then press the energy right through your back left heel. Inhale. Exhale. And then very slowly, we'll take our hands back to our hips, step your left foot forward, and stand in Tadasana for a moment. Stand and feel. Feel the vibrancy, the ebb and the flow of the energy that's moving through you. Gently release from your Tadasana. We're going to work a little standing pose here, a little standing sequence, standing balance sequence, Pendangushtasana, which is big toe clasp. However, we don't need to actually go to the full extent of the pose to work the psoas muscle. So we've got some options. I'm going to turn sideways and I'll be moving around my mat just to give you a better clarity of where I am on my mat and what we're doing with the body. We'll first start by balancing on the left leg, pardon me. So soften in the knees,
Allow all of your weight to come into that left side. Get nice and strong. Press through all 5 toe mounds of the left foot. Lift the inner arch and have the heels pressing. So you've created this padabandha, as we describe it in the left foot. And then I'd like you to bring your right knee up and catch underneath your right thigh. Now, right now, this may be enough for you. This may be enough that you are working a standing balance and you're bringing the right thigh in towards your torso. So we're strengthening and toning the psoas muscle here. Okay? What I need you to remember, or at least make sure that you're feeling and seeing in your body, is that the minute you begin to turn your torso forward, we've lost the upper stability of the psoas muscle. So we want to create a long straight line so that you're drawing up and out of the left leg, up and into the torso, and the torso remains upright, okay? For those of you who want to go further, this is where you can reach in and clasp onto the big toe or to the outer edge side of your foot. Now, left hand can come onto your left waist so you've got some balance. And what you're still doing here is sucking the right thigh in towards the torso and the torso towards the thigh, keeping your spine upright. From here, if you choose and you have the flexibility, you can begin to straighten out your right leg. Now, I caution you, the minute you begin to round forward, you've lost the integrity of the pose, okay? So choose your posture. If you are able to extend your leg out long and your spine remains upright, then I want you to keep moving your right femur, your right hip, back and in towards your socket so that you're creating that inward suction, okay? Take one more breath where you are and then come back down. It's a real tough one. It's fun though. It helps us to create stability and balance in our body. It challenges our mind in many ways. And it doesn't matter if you fall out of the pose, just come back to it. Know though that you're definitely working to strengthen this very important muscle in the body. It's the only muscles, there's 2 of them, that connect our upper body with our lower body. It also is one of the only muscles that connects the back of our body to the front of our body. So in our yogic perspective, there's a lot that goes into the psoas. It's also a very large muscle that holds a lot of emotion and a lot of tension. Okay, and so by working actively and respectfully in these postures, you can begin to relieve pain, tension from this area, as well as strengthen it so that you will prevent injury in the future. Let's go over to the other side. Now the right foot stays down. We get into the leg here. I want you to really get solid on your right leg. If you need to come to a wall to help prop yourself up or to an edge of a chair or table or counter, please do so. If that just helps you to create that balance so that you can work the psoas and the leg muscle a little bit more, the hip flexor, then go for it, okay? Left leg comes in towards the chest. You're catching underneath the thigh, okay? So we start here. If this is as far as you get today, then this is where you get. And I just want you to continue to work the thigh into the torso, torso into the thigh. Press strongly, come up and out of that right leg, strong standing leg. Then maybe if you want to go a little further, you're clasping onto big toe or to the outer edge of your left foot. Right hand can come onto your waist for balance or onto a wall, as I might need right now, okay? And then pay attention. Where is my spine? Have I lost the integrity of my straight neutral spine coming out of my right leg? And then work the leg into the torso. And then those of you who want to go a little bit further, begin to stretch the left leg straight out in front of you. Again, maintaining a beautiful straight spine. The minute you lose that spine, I want you to stay where you are and then keep drawing the leg in towards the body. And then wherever you are, one more breath with integrity and then release. This is great work to work the psoas muscle, the hip flexors. Perfect. We're going to make our way now down onto our mats.
Okay, so just very, very slowly, let's bring our way down. I want to work through a little bit of a pigeon pose here. A little bit different than maybe what you're used to. We're going to keep the bent leg in and underneath the body. So you can start from coming from a Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog, or from our table. I'll demonstrate from coming from downward facing dog. You will also need, before I begin, you might need a couple of blocks, because we're going to work this with the torso moving upright. So, coming into your version of your downward facing dog or from your table. You'll take a deep inhale and look between your thumbs and where your knee is going to go. And then you're going to draw your right knee down and you're going to send your left leg back. The toes are untucked and it's almost like you're sitting on your right heel. So the right heel is coming right into that right sitting bone. And then take your blocks, your books, or your support, and I want you to be able to press onto your hands so that you're lifting the torso upright here. And if I come forward and demonstrate this from a forward position, the hips, we want to keep the hips maintaining level as best we can. So not sinking over to our right hip and not over onto the left so much. So we want to maintain as much of a level pelvis as we can. So now we're working on this side, we're working the left. So as the left leg is straight back, we're opening the psoas muscle again from the left side. Our standing balance brought the psoas into flexion, and now we're coming into extension here. And by bringing the torso upright, we're able to extend the entire length of this muscle. Okay? If the knees are not happy here, this is not an appropriate pose for you, okay? We would work a low lunge or some other version, okay? So if for any reason the knee is not happy here, don't do this pose, okay? In future videos, I will give other suggestions for you, okay? I want you to breathe into the right, into the left leg here. Belly always drawing in towards your spine and up towards your heart center. Shoulders down your back. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Last exhale. And then let's transition back through your downward facing dog. So move your blocks to the side. Bring your hands underneath you, uncurl the right knee, and step your legs back up to your downward facing dog. Bending the knees one at a time. Then you're releasing any tension, stiffness there. Inhale, look between your thumbs. Exhale, left knee's coming forward. Right leg goes back, pardon me. And then again, find the stability in your hips. What is your pose here? And then either the hands are staying down on the floor, fingertips, or bringing so that we can bring the chest up, or bringing your hands onto blocks. Okay. Neutral pelvis, lifting upwards. Inhaling, exhale. Keep sinking and stretching into the right front hip flexor. Take a couple more breaths on this side. Now, if you're feeling any pinching or tension in the lower back, just lower the chest a little bit, okay? You don't have to come to your greatest pose of all time, okay? Today is where you are. And then very slowly, move your blocks over to the sides, press your hands, tuck your toes, and come back to your downward facing dog. One last downward facing dog. As you stretch through the backs of your legs, feel as though you're coming home. Take a couple more breaths here in this pose, and then we'll make our way down into our resting pose of child's pose. Rest in child's pose for a few moments.
And then very, very slowly, make your way back up. At this point, you can choose to come into a longer version of Shavasana, maybe supported, allowing the knees to be supported and coming into an active rest. Thank you so much for joining me today and allowing me to take you a little tour through your hip flexors, through the psoas muscle in particular. It's my absolute honor and pleasure to guide you. The light in my heart honors and sees the light in each and every one of you. And until next time, everyone, namaste.